Welcome back to Movies I Show My Brother. We saw Wicked for Good this weekend. So spoilers for Wicked and Wicked for Good because, we're going to talk about it and review it. I really liked it. As you guys know, the first one is obviously part one of the play, and the second one is part two of the play. Straight up. Because it ends with Defying Gravity for the play and the movie, and it starts, I don't have to listen for me, with the same song in the movie. So I am the only one that has actually seen the play, I think. You've listened to the music.
I know the musical and like the idea, but I've not seen the stage production, no.
And then this is your first time getting all of it, right?
Yeah, I'd never seen any of it. I didn't even know the songs for part two, so I was coming in hot off the press, brand spanking new, had no idea what was going to happen.
Just fresh eyes on it, what do you think?
I did enjoy for good. I think overall, before we all get into sort of like something, if we had to say highs and lows and everything before I get into specifics, I would say overall, I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed Wicked Part 1 more than Part 2. But that gets into like more nitty gritty details. But I would say overall, Part 2 was a good time.
Absolutely. I overall also enjoyed the film for as much like nitpicking as I may do later. Solid, still like solid. I'd say like 8, 9 out of 10. Still a good experience. I did like the first movie better, but I think that's kind of the nature of stories. Like the setup, you're comfy, everything's in one place. You feel a little bit more grounded. It's usually the first part of a story is more enjoyable because the second part is resolving and conflict, but still a good movie. I did enjoy it.
Well, the first part is very lighthearted. They're at school, they're learning themselves and discovering who they are, and then but like the part two took a more serious tone to it, which I appreciated. It needed to, given the concepts, and I do like that they went into the animal storyline more, because in the play they don't do that in the second act.
Yes, I thought that was cool.
So I do like that adaptation of it.
Absolutely.
That's interesting because I didn't know that. I thought given how much the animals were emphasized in Part 1, it made sense how much they were in Part 2. Like to bring back up that they're trying to leave Oz and all that stuff and have scenes with them. I thought, well, that makes sense. It's got to be part of the original and everything. But no, that's very interesting.
It is. It's just not as
prevalent.
Hand over fist. Yeah.
What about you?
I liked it a lot. I think that though you could say, I think that what we're all trying to say is like the first one just feels like a better movie. Like at least a more well-constructed movie. Because obviously it is set up to be a play. It's set up to be one long story. Yeah. And so you do get the conclusion at the end of this one. But the first one did seem to have a better like 3-act structure. You know what I mean? Which I think is okay. Like it's fair. Like that this one it might not be as strong, but I think it was still good. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we all went to see it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean? We already said we're going to buy it on DVD. So.
Oh, heck yeah. For sure.
All right. So that's probably better to start with the lows.
Okay.
Fair
enough. I feel like that's a good idea.
What do you think? If you had to nitpick.
Yeah, no.
But you don't have to. You're allowed to just enjoy it.
Yes,
but if you had
absolutely.
To.
Right. I was about to say.
As trying to give a review in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, all of this with, grain of salt. Again, it was a good movie. For me, my low was the addition of the extra songs that they put into Wicked Part 2. So there were 4 extra songs in total. First thing is that just the quality of the song itself, like how it's written, clearly subpar to the rest of the music that's already been written, at least to me. Now, I'm not saying I could do it better. I couldn't, obviously. But there was just... It didn't seem necessary, first of all. I didn't see how those songs really added anything to the movie or to really the overall musical quality of it. I do appreciate what some of the songs were trying to do, which was I think they were trying to give more explanation and flesh out some things in Part 2 that the show didn't have time to do, like Glinda's song kind of showing her turning point, or Elphaba's song kind of showing that trying to keep the animals there,
which the movie in general just had more for Glinda to do,
right? And I loved that, absolutely, but I was disappointed by the quality of the music and the lyrics specifically. This is very, very nitpicky, but Glinda's song where her ending word is pop, and it's just holding out this fair. Long, like, why? Like, if you were gonna give her a song, which please do, why that one? Why? So I feel like that was my as a vocalist myself, and someone who went to college for music. I felt the addition of these 4 songs. The songs weren't done as well as they could have been. Like, if you're gonna make this into a 2.5-hour movie, those songs that you added better be amazing. And I was just not wowed.
Which is interesting. It makes me think. Sorry to interrupt. Like,
Go for it.
I wonder if Steven Schwartz, because he was a producer on this, I wonder if he did write those new songs.
Maybe.
Because he did write the original 30 plus years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm curious as if that's just a change in his writing, or
Right.
if someone else wrote the new.
Or if it was under a time crunch, that kind of thing. What
Yeah.
were you thinking, Sarah?
I was just gonna disagree on one song. There was
Sure.
one song that I did like. It was Alphabet's song.
No Place Like Home?
Yes, 'cause I do more of the musicality and things like
Sure.
that. But I do like it was a nod to the original movie, and I love things like that where it gives a nod to the original
Sure.
context, whether that's the book, the original movie. And then that'll go into my low later on when we get to it.
Which we do
Absolutely.
still need to read the book, but
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say I disagree with you on that, because the No Place Like Home is Dorothy's theme, and Elphaba's theme is not staying home. She leaves her home multiple times with her sister in Munchkinland, at the school, leaving Oz entirely. You know what I mean? So I think
But
it's
she's striving to find a place like home, and for
Which is
her,
fair.
home is with the animals, specifically with the nursery bear that
Yeah.
basically raised her. That is her home, and her home is leaving her or attempting to leave because they were
Yeah.
going off to a different place. So I don't think it's home in a physical context, but home with the people that you surround yourself with.
I love that. I don't think that's what the song said.
I
it's
didn't
funny,
say that, but that's how I took
Yeah.
it.
I was
Which is
like,
great.
sure.
And that's how.
Because there's no place like home. Home is the people that
Yeah.
you surround
Yeah.
yourself with.
Yeah. And it's funny because I actually took it the way more the way that Sarah did, because when I heard the song and everything, I didn't even really think of it as oh, No Place Like Home, and I was like, oh yeah, that's from Oz. But then I was like, no, but I really like that idea, because I thought the question they probed to Elphaba of why are you fighting so hard for Oz, this place that never wanted you, and for her to frame it as but for me right now this is home and everything, and you being here is my home and stuff like that. I really liked that. I thought it was just very emotionally resonant with who Elphaba is. Although, given the ending, I think it's really interesting to think of she does go on to decide but maybe Oz isn't her home, and she's trying to find out where that is. But of course, that relates
Or
to
her home is with Fiyero.
Yeah.
That's how I took
which
that.
which is also a positive thing in padding out the runtime, is that it added all of the Glinda stuff, which in the play, spoilers, she fakes her death at the hands of Dorothy. Scarecrow, they all walk off stage celebrating. He runs back in, gets her out of the trap door, and it ends. And then in this, it pads it out more, where it shows Glinda becoming the new ruler, getting the other witch arrested by the monkeys, and being actually good leader.
yeah.
Which is nice, because it says that Elphaba's goal of making Oz a better place did happen. The animals came back.
Yeah.
Glinda is in charge now. That's actually going to be a good thing.
And I do like that they flushed that out more, and they
Yeah.
also flushed out, she supposedly, we can assume, is able to use magic
Now, because the book opened.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, to cap off my low before moving on, I will say, out of the 4 songs that were added, No Place Like Home annoyed me the least of them, for what that's worth.
It is 3 songs, because that is from the original.
Well, yeah. No, this is
So
just a list.
correction.
This is just a list of songs. This
Yeah.
isn't all.
Oh, yeah.
That we counted them last, though. I don't remember. But anyway, and then just the second thing, the song No Place Like Home did give me slight out of nowhere vibes, like Fixer Upper did from Frozen for me. I know that's a hot take too, but Fixer Upper, I remember sitting in the theater and being like, where in the world did this song come from?
That's funny.
What the heck? And I felt similar vibes with this one, but
That's the song with the
trolls.
the
yeah.
trolls,
So he's
It
a little
came
bit
from we need to
Fixer
sell
Upper.
troll
But
dolls.
it came out of, for me, it just felt like it kind of just
Exactly
was
right,
plopped
yes.
in, and it wasn't built up too well or de-escalated from well. And I felt similarly with I think all of the other ones that were added. Merchandising. All right. But anyway, that's my low. Who's next?
Which I think that summarizes Milo too, of just padding out the runtime.
Okay.
'Cause, you said after we watched it that like normally a second act of a show is shorter than the first act.
Yeah.
And so to get like a 2-hour movie out of that, they had to, actually fluff it out a little bit. And I think you can tell at some points. That's why I say that's not bad. Like that's why I think you can see in the first one is just a better movie entirely. Better,
The pacing is a lot better in the
There were
first
no
one.
Like you
songs
said, the
in the first one,
3-part
were there?
structure,
I don't
they
think
follow
so.
that very well.
Yeah, I have to go
Yes.
back and look, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, like,
so that's my only
yeah.
low. But we already covered that. Do you guys have any other?
My low was, again, it's going back to like the original context, either like the movie or like the book, which again, we haven't read the book. I need to.
Yeah.
But in the movie, Dorothy accidentally, quote unquote, kills the witch, because she's trying to put out the fire.
Yeah.
Because it was either her broom or her cloak, accidentally caught on fire. So she was trying to put it out. Or was it the scarecrow?
It was because the scarecrow was on fire.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I think.
But in this one, she just full on there's no fire at all. She just full
She
on
just
kills
murders her.
Yeah. Viciously.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she holds
Yeah,
up.
I know. Yeah.
What a character shift. You're right.
Yeah.
It's really funny to think of it that way because it literally reads like.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna
It's
go get my
like-
quest reward from the wizard.
Yeah, which that didn't happen either. Like, what happened at the end of that movie with like the slander for Dorothy? All right,
It's so funny.
that gets me because it goes over because the whole entire spoilers, the entire second act of Wicked is the Wizard of Oz. It is Dorothy. The house lands on her sister, kills her, and Dorothy goes off on her adventure, and she finds the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion.
Yeah.
They go talk to the wizard, go kill the witch, come back. In the movie, it kind of like the wizard leaves before someone can tell her no place like home.
Yeah.
So I was like, is she ever leaving? Like,
She seemed kind
He
of
leaned over
stranded.
to me in the theater. It's like, somebody needs
Somebody
to
needs
tell
to tell
her.
her,
No
like-
place like home.
yeah, it's like,
For real, though.
what's happening there? Like,
Oh, my God.
Because you can see her in the crowd,
like
trying
trying
to
to reach him. Yeah, it's like where'd the Tin Man, Lion, and Scarecrow? Well, Scarecrow went with Alpha. Where'd Tin Man, Lion go?
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
Tin
literally.
Man has some
Which-
gripes to deal with. You know?
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
But his acting was so
Right?
good, especially
God,
with
yeah.
the mob and rising him up. It gave me
Oh, yeah.
very much like Gaston vibes with rising up the mob to go
Yeah.
after.
Which that was cool.
Elphaba.
Song.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Absolutely.
Tin Man, that's more positive. Any other low notes?
I wanted to say that when we were driving back after the movie, this still relates to length and everything, but genuinely, I would go so far as to say you probably could cut like 40 minutes off of For Good, and I think it would be a much stronger movie for it.
Tighter, yeah.
It would just everything would feel like it was going from one thing to the next because I think my biggest problem in general with For Good was pacing because I was having a hard time framing it when we got out of the movie the first time because I was like I talked about how it felt like we were just kind of like being slingshotted from setting to setting to setting and I realized when I looked at it I was like no I think that was a pacing thing where I was like because this is the second half of the show and because if you were sitting in a theater and you were watching this show on a stage it makes sense that things continue to ramp up because you were just watching all the setup and now the dominoes are falling and everything. But when it's a whole movie for the dominoes, we have to somehow keep making things bigger and bigger and bigger and it has to keep escalating even though it's over 2 hours of escalation. Like that gets tiring, and like not in like oh my gosh, this movie was so emotionally exhausting. It's more just like, no, but it does hurt the pacing when we're trying to be like, we're constantly moving toward this like bigger and bigger thing of eventually Elphaba, like for a moment they're kind of accepting that she kind of has to be the big bad evil guy in order to bring Oz together kind of thing. She has to accept her role as a scapegoat for Oz to heal and be brought back together for the animals to come home. But
Jesus theme.
yeah, exactly. But I mean if you cut out like 40 minutes of it, maybe put all the time you put into all 4 of the new songs. And if you cut all of them, I think because of the fact that I want Galinda to have more, put all the effort you put into new songs into just one new song for Galinda to give her that presence, even though I liked For Good as well overall. I think knowing that Galinda doesn't even really get, because I didn't know that. I didn't think about that she doesn't really get her own song in the original that's just for her. I would like that as like to emphasize her turning point and everything. So I guess my biggest gripe is the pacing / length. And the way it feels like we're just going ping-ponging around the Oz universe for a little while there, trying to get toward the ending.
Especially in comparison to the first movie. The first movie, they were all at school, and then they went to the Emerald City.
They weren't going back and forth.
It was just 2 locations,
Right.
and they went one to the other. And,
Right. I'm glad you said that, because I 100% agree, because when we go to the Emerald City, it's a big deal, you know, getting on the train, going, and we actually have this transition to going there. Like, and I get it, Elphaba becoming the witch, you know, she can just fly around and go wherever she wants when she wants. That's fine. And I understand that can also just be a personal thing, that I like having a sense of place in all these different moving arounds. But that is still probably my largest gripe. That, and like, when we talked about musical stuff, it was like, when I found out, because I didn't know, this is coming from me as somebody who didn't know what happened in part 2. I didn't know that that there were new songs. I thought these were all originals. And it was funny, because when I was listening to them, I was like, why are some of these songs so hard to understand? Like, the enunciation isn't there and stuff. To find out afterward that it's like, oh, those were added, I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because the songs that weren't added, I was like, oh, I'm following. It's very emotionally resonant with what's going on. And like, even the songs that I liked, like No Place Like Home, or the theme of Galinda's song I liked, even if I didn't really care for the song itself, made more sense why it was like, oh, that's why these felt like they were on the weaker side compared to Changed for Good, or whatever it's called. And Wonderful, between the wizard and Elphaba and Galinda, which was also a really fun song.
Yes, it was.
I also want to give props to the cinematography, both in that song, but also in Galinda's song at the end, how it was just moving around and like using the mirrors. It was, I thought it was really well done.
I thought
The cinematography was
the
sick.
cinematography was never a weakness, I don't think.
no.
I think it was always on point.
Like those
So to get
two
into
parts
positives.
especially were really good.
So to get into positives, the cinematography was great. The costumes were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know there are so many hints in the first one and in the second one in the costumes of the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, to the point that when it started being revealed, Sarah and I kept looking at Garrison like, has he figured it out yet?
But, like, I noticed that even in the trailer, and that's why I didn't want to say anything then, because like even like the Scarecrow's like the symbols
Straw.
on his back,
Yeah,
or
there's like straw,
wheat,
yeah, like
straw.
wheat.
And
very
even
cool.
on the sash too, it's like mimicking, you know, like the straw wheat pattern.
And the Tin Man, he's the same outfit on, but its trim is silver instead of gold.
And then his
So that was fun.
hat is
the Tin Man
similar
hat.
to what
Yeah,
Imagine
the
becomes
little
his.
pointy hat.
Yep.
He's chopping wood in the beginning. You just look at Garrison like,
Yep.
who else has an axe? But in the first movie, you had pointed out it's very cool that the Scarecrow in his dance does like a scarecrow pose. That's
Absolutely.
very fun.
And his whole choreography is very loose and like, you know, straw
and
man-ish.
Tin Man does the little Tin Man dance.
The lean, like what was in the original movie.
which is very fun. Just teasing for
Well, and just
what
the
they're gonna be.
choreography in general was really well done.
Yeah.
So
No, I love the effects on the Tin Man because that was very cool. Like he had
Yes,
like
they
the
did very
painted
well.
face, but also the CGI on his body looked great.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
in the same scene as that, I do want to point out that one positive for me, again going back to the original, is that they included Nessa's reprise, which it was in the beginning of the play Wicked, but sometimes they cut that reprise out, and I love that they added that in for her, because it's, for me, I love a good heartful song that makes me want to cry. That always hits me.
Oh yeah.
And just it adds more depth to Nessa.
I feel like my high was No Good Deed. Was that entire song, because that is one of my
That's my favorite
songs. Yeah, so it's honestly a tie for me between For Good and No Good Deed. Like I love both of them, but I thought just it was the culmination of everything great about this movie. Like the effects were fabulous, the music, the vocals, the acting, the costumes, especially because she changes costume
the one
and
who's changed
transforms
Yep.
in that. it not only was it visually so wonderful and fun to look at, and Sarah even pointed out
the red lightning. I love that they added that, and I did go back and look at that clip because I was wondering if it was in the original movie, and it wasn't. But I do like that they added the red lightning because it's like that song is her heart breaking.
yes,
And the red lightning is like a symbol of her heart breaking into.
absolutely. I loved that. I thought that was just incredibly well done. And then I loved to hate Nessa.
Yeah.
I second that.
Kudos out to the actress who plays Nessa, because I hated Nessa, but like it made sense. Like everything she did,
Because they added those details,
Yes.
it made her becoming the Wicked Witch of the East. It made it make more sense.
And fleshed her out more.
Yeah.
absolutely. I loved every single extra thing that helped flesh that character out. I thought everything with her character, first movie and second, was done extremely well.
I thought they did a great job with her disability too, because the actress is actually in a wheelchair, and in the play, she gets the magic shoes. The shoes become magical, and she can walk. And so in this, the shoes become magical, and she can float. But then that's based off her emotions. So when the Tin Man tries to break up with her, rightfully
floats
so,
back down.
she floats back down to
Right.
the chair. So I thought they handled that very well. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. Because I remember after we watched the first one, we found out she's actually in a wheelchair. We were like, how are they gonna like tastefully,
walk
do that?
yeah.
You know, and,
And
that was,
they did a
they
great
did
job.
it. And I liked it a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Other high points.
Go ahead, Sarah. If you had high points.
Oh, I thought you were talk.
No, I was gonna say I think I really liked that they did the way that they had Tin Man and Scarecrow appear. I was like, this is like low key body horror, and I really liked that. Actually, I was not expecting the way that they became who they are to be so like violent and dark and everything. Like the Tin Man and stuff. Like I remembered like, oh, he doesn't have heart. Oh, he doesn't have a brain. Like
Literally though.
and I was like, oh crap. No, like they're serious. Like Tin Man literally doesn't have a heart because it like some magic like removed it and turned him into like used. I like that they showed it was like the metal and tin in the room he was in.
She had to use to fix him.
Yeah, like
Cool.
and it was cool watching it like affixed to his finger and stuff like that.
When he first comes into the room, he's bringing that
Tin, yeah.
that
Oh,
tray
yeah, you're right.
of tea.
Yeah.
And when he first brought it in, I'm like, that's going to be it. That's
Yeah.
how they're going to do it. And I was like giddy in my seat. That was one point I was looking at you. I'm like, have you figured it out?
Yeah.
And
All
then,
of
like,
us
he
staring.
like puts like the hatchet down, the axe down in the wood by the fireplace. I'm like, okay, has he figured it out?
Yeah. No, I just thought that was really, really cool. And like oh my gosh, this is actually kind of horrible. Like the way that this happens and stuff. And
And the Scarecrow is great because that's straight out of the play too, where he's literally being strung up like a scarecrow
yeah,
by the soldiers.
they were crucifying my
they
guy.
were
Like-
they were going to kill him, so she had to make him immortal, and the only way to do that was to turn him into a scarecrow.
Yeah, that was another like when no good deed is going, and like we're having these flashes of him being beaten and strung up and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like again, I just as someone who wasn't expecting it to get that dark with these moments, I was like, dang, all right, Wicked, I see you. Like this is pretty cool actually. Like I kind of like that they're leaning into this. A little, maybe a slightly jarring given how like I guess I should say how unsevere it is in other areas. But then again, I think back to the first movie and the way they have like the animals being hurt and them losing their voices and stuff like that was also like surprisingly dark the way that they depict it, which I liked because man, it made you hate the upper parts of Oz the way they did it. Yeah, it made you hate the wizard. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Well, supposedly the books are very dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
that-
one thing I hear because it's a very long series, but like all the books are very, very dark in their own ways.
Yes, that is something I've heard as well.
Well, then I mean, even more props then I guess because I thought again just because I thought the body horror stuff was cool. It's like if someone heard that and they thought, oh man, what did they show? And it's like they don't show a lot, just enough that you're like, oh, this is terrible. Like when you see the Tin Man, I think part of it also comes from the way they move. I think that the actor who played Tin Man did an amazing job with the way he moved as Tin Man, where it made
painful.
it. Yeah, exactly. It made it look awkward and painful to move and like.
It didn't look fun, like doing a dance. With
Yeah,
the
no.
Tin
Right,
Man in
no.
the woods, like
And then
looked like he was suffering. you
yeah,
know?
and then for him to that moment when he's in the square in the Emerald City shouting and stuff, I was like, this man is channeling vitriol. This man is angry, hateful, and I love it. This is awesome. I wish we kind of
traveling with 12-year-old Dorothy.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm surprised he didn't behead her along the way. Like,
maybe that's why she was
murderous.
like,
Yeah.
that's why she got murderous. She just kind of like,
Channeled
adopted
some
some of
of
that
him.
energy.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, fuck this
That's what I
bitch.
told Sarah, is that I wish when the monkeys took Dorothy, I wish we got a scene with Lion, Scarecrow, and Tin Man together. Because I want to see how they would interact with each other, because they knew each other before they were monsters.
That's true,
and
yeah.
even in the mob too, I was trying to find
Scarecrow wasn't there.
He wasn't there,
No.
and I was waiting for him to. I thought he was going to appear in Glinda's room.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because it was sort of like shot that way, like when she like
That he might be
went
behind
back
her
in
somewhere.
and like closed the door. Like I thought he was going.
I know. I was
there,
like, jump scare.
Yeah.
That actually makes me think that would have been a really great
Cool
scene.
reveal.
That, and also when you said that, like, we never really got a scene of Fiero and the Tin Man and the Lion all together. That, like, it actually would have been like having Dorothy getting dragged off by the monkeys.
And cut back to them, because in the original, it's like we don't know that they have history together and stuff like that. But now it's like, no, Tin Man probably has a bone to pick with Fiero, if he had any bones left. And, and the Lion doesn't like Elphaba because of his own perception of things. Because she rescued him, but so did Fiero. He was with her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That would have been interesting to flesh
It-
that out.
It seems like, and I like how they did it, that the Tin Man twisted his memory of what initially occurred when he was a cub.
Because yep, to make him more hateful.
Right. But it would have been really cool, because then, if anything, that would have been a great moment also for a song between the
that'd be
three of
cool.
them, to have like a song that is them, like, I suppose, finding some sort of middle ground to finish the mission of going after Elphaba, even if the whole time, Fiero's, gaslighting them into thinking that he's totally okay with this and going along with it and everything. It would have been cool to see them try to find that middle ground, because there are so many cool character dynamics, at the very least between Fiero and Tin Man. Like, at the very least between those two, because he was in love with Galinda. Like, Tin Man was in love with Galinda, and that was the whole reason he was leaving Nessa. Yeah. And that you could have also pulled on that too. And like, there are lots of things you could have tugged on there that I think would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Which I suppose that's more of like a, oh well, in hindsight's 2020.
Deleted scene.
Yeah.
That goes into my ultimate favorite part. Is I love the idea for the second act of Wicked and this movie that we never directly see Dorothy. Like, all the glimpses of them are just very short, but I do love. It looked great. Like when they're talking to the wizard, it was like 2 seconds. But the shot of Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion all standing there together, it looked awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if they did a remake of Wizard of Oz and looked like that, I'd be happy. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be very cool.
If I had to like say another good thing in general, I love everything that had to do with the wizard. Like, I think the way that they depict the curtain, which is just all of his illusions, I love all of it being these cool like gizmos and gadgets and stuff that is so much more advanced than everything else in Oz.
Yeah, because
that
it's
it looks
physical.
like
It's not just like a floating head like Jor-El. You know what I mean? It's a physical giant head. When it was dancing in that scene, that was very funny.
Yeah. I love it being this giant mechanical head that makes it feel so imposing. Like, he's not just a wizard, he feels like an idol, a deity, like the way he exists in the city. I was like, that's just too cool. Like the way they decided to depict that, but then also seeing behind the curtain how janky everything is. Like, he's using a fog machine and like his tower's just a giant kaleidoscope that he made and everything. And like when you show the little spinny dude and then they're spinning around, and like we talked about with the whole feeling of like the song Wonderful is kind of like Oz trying to mesmerize Elphaba into believing him and everything. And he's always playing with a loaded deck. Like he tells her, no, fine, yeah, go ahead, release the monkeys. And then you find out, oh no, in the closet he's got all these other animals he's going to keep prisoner.
Which I do really like that they added Glinda to that song, because in the musical she is just the wizard and Elphaba. But because they added Glinda, it gives Elphaba more of a buy-in to join their side.
Yeah.
And I loved that choice as well, because it really shows also how aligned Glinda is with like the wizard, and that she really has bought into this, and she really is like, yes. And I think it then makes her choices later on where she kind of pivots away from that, even more like apparent and a cooler payoff because they showed her alignment in
and
that
shows
way.
her growth.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I loved that choice as well.
liked it a lot. I think you put it great too with Jeff Goldblum is the wizard, is that he's clearly very smart. Like he built all these things. He built the train. He built Oz. Like he did all these things, but he's very much a showman. Like he's a liar, and that shows that very much so. Where like the head is magnificent, the room is amazing. You go behind it, and it's just the jankiest thing ever, but it works.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it shows that he's a genius, but he's also just the biggest con man ever.
Yeah.
Right.
That
Absolutely.
showmanship that he never lost from the circus.
Yeah.
One
Thought
of-
that was very cool.
And his treatment of animals, he's a
That
carny
ties into
through and
circus.
through.
Yeah.
Like,
Ties into the real world mistreatment of animals and circuses
Right.
and whatnot, which is very cool.
yeah.
One
Not
of
the
my
mistreatment of animals, the depiction of it.
The depiction
Right.
of like being honest
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
One of my highs is nothing really exactly that the movie did or a choice made, but it was Garrison's face when it's revealed that the wizard is Elphaba's actual biological dad.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I did not see that coming. I thought that was so cool.
I just knew
Yeah.
that because just it's from
Right,
the play, like,
and-
just the thing.
and
throughout the entire movie, he's drinking the little green
the
bottle.
little green bottles
Completely
every
forgot about
time.
it from the
Yep,
first movie.
the entire
Like-
time. And Garrison pointed out that, like, if we had seen the whole show in one stint, like, or like Wicked Part 1 and Part 2,
Yeah.
like he probably
You
would
would've
have caught
figured
it
it out, yeah.
coming. Yeah. But it's so hard to catch Garrison off guard and for him to not see it coming that I just had, I had so much joy that I just swallow my mic about it. I had so much joy
No, that
watching
was a lot
him
of
be
fun.
surprised because it's so hard to do. And it was just great.
It just completely left my mind that was even a plot point from the first one. That I was just like, because the way I interpreted it back in the first one was, whoever her dad actually was, it wasn't even really who the dad was. I thought it was depicting that she was that way because he was like drinking constantly, and that she came out different purely because of like ingesting alcohol and
I
drugs.
think that's
and
why
stuff
she's
like
green, is because in his song he calls it my green elixir.
That.
That's why she's
okay.
green, but that's what like you said, why she's more powerful is because she's from both worlds.
Yeah.
But I think that
Yeah.
is why she is green, is because it was his green elixir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, because again, in the first one, I just thought it was a depiction of like, this is like, people make dumb choices, drinking and all that stuff while they're banging one out and everything, and just like, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. She's having an affair. That's terrible. And then Elphaba happened, and then by the time we get to the second one, I was like, it was Oz. That makes perfect sense. And then
I love how you point out his performance was really good, where he's just like doing the math of like,
You can barely see him doing the
Yeah.
math in his head, and it's just
Yeah.
connecting
Yeah.
the dots, which I do. And correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been like a whole year since I've seen the first one. But they added an original song in the first movie too. That was one of Oz's, where it discussed like him wanting to have a kid. I could be
yes,
mistaken
I'm a
on
sentimental man.
Yes.
Is from the original.
No, it's from, I was going to say Sentimental
the
Man
original.
is from the original show. The
Okay.
first movie didn't have any songs added. I double checked.
Yeah.
that. Okay.
But I
But
mean,
that is the song
yeah.
you're thinking of, Sentimental Man, which that is right before Defying Gravity, but that is from the original, yeah. Which is cool.
Absolutely.
It's tied into that.
Absolutely.
yeah, I just thought, I agree. That was a cool twist. It was fun.
That was so fun.
Yeah, no, I genuinely was like taken aback by that. That was really cool. I also thought it was very fitting, like a cool parallel between Elphaba and her dad is that she learned something from him about truth and everything, and that her dying, that it's like it was a con.
It was a
like,
trick, yeah.
She learned a trick from him that everyone just needed to believe she was
Yeah,
dead. For
that's
the
cool. I
truth
didn't think
to
of
take
that.
I
shape.
did, yeah, same.
That's cool.
I just thought that was really, really fun. That it was like, oh yeah, and I mean, Oz wasn't wrong about truth. That it's like his whole spiel about how truth is what people want it to be, and whatever's most like
Right.
convenient to them. Essentially, it's like, yeah, for the wicked one to have died and everything, and now the world is good and happy again. That was the most convenient thing to think, than rather than, oh, she just left and she'll never return. Like that wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
Nobody would have been okay with that.
The chorus does a fantastic job of being like the constant like third antagonist in this entire show, like both in the show but in the movie too. Like, man, are they great at just always being the problem.
Seriously.
Like
being
they are
angry.
the easiest sheep to lead. But I thought that was done really well by the chorus, because it's just watching them and watching their anger and watching, you know, how the truth is presented to them. I'm like, I'm not sure that I would be doing anything different were I in their place. Like, of course, we'd always like to think we'll see through, you know, we'll know when we're being led on, but like, especially with the way it's presented.
It's propaganda. That's the major theme of the movie. Is that's Glinda's whole job is propaganda of being the positive up front for the crowd.
Right.
But there's a
Be
bunch of problems
encouraging.
behind the
Yes.
scenes. Yeah, to be encouraging.
Be encouraging.
Yeah.
Her line delivery on that was great. Props
So
out to
good.
Ariana Grande. The acting was very good.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my brother and I, when we would do this podcast, we would rate something by whether or not you would recommend it to a friend,
Okay.
and if you would buy it on DVD. So what do you guys think?
Oh,
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
I would recommend it.
So yeah, so we're gonna buy it on DVD, but because we really want the two-parter.
I will keep using
You're gonna
Disney
borrow it.
Plus.
Yeah.
But I will buy. I do want to buy the first one though.
Yes, exactly. So
Like,
see,
I
that's a good way
recommend
to rate
and
it.
buy, and then this one, yeah, recommend.
That's a good way.
And
I
then
think, to
just
rate it.
have the one like For Good and No Good Deed like downloaded from YouTube, so I can watch those when I want.
Yes, for sure.
I also, last thing I wanted to say is that I really loved from the song For Good. I love the various different ways that they go at the word good, where they talk about like you doing the play on words at the end of like, I can't say I've been changed for the better, but I know I've been changed for good. But it's not just like, you could say forever as in for good, or but no, I am saying I was changed for the
Positively.
better. Like, I
Yeah.
was changed positively.
That's very cool.
I just really I thought that was a really beautiful song to end the show on in general. I really liked For Good.
It's a
It was
good one.
great song.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think, and watch Wicked, I guess. I mean, that's really good. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.